You don't need glasses to enjoy this video in 3D, read the description for more information. I have a little bit of a confession to make, I didn't like the original Metro 2033. This one on the other hand, seems really fun. I started it up just to get some 3D footage and I ended up playing it for quite some time. Anyway, onto the 3D. This here is the benchmark video. I'll show some gameplay footage later on, followed by this same tech demo but on highest everything. You see, as powerful as my PC is, it can't handle this game on highest everything in 3D. Hence why when the battle comes along, I have to lower the details somewhat. If you want to see it on highest everything, go to the end of the video. However, be warned, it is a slideshow. Saying that, this game looks good on all settings. It's kind of a bit like Crysis 3. But hey, this is a 3D demonstration, and the 3D effect looks the same on all settings. So this is on medium, it still looks beautiful, and the effect is quite pronounced. For a first-person game, I would still rather the viewpoints were further apart, but maybe that's just me. You can see the 3D effect quite effectively if things are closer than about 20 feet to you. And to be honest with you, if you had the most powerful PC in the world and you wanted to see what 3D could do, this would probably be a good example, since it's probably the most convincing looking game I know, apart from Crysis 3. Now this game is marked as 3D ready, however I can still see artifacts with it. The reflections on the train at the beginning of this benchmark aren't visible in one eye, however this only happens on maximum settings. I guess it's real-time reflections or something. You can see an example of this at the end of the video when I rerun this benchmark at full everything. The top of the train just simply looks slightly brighter in one eye than the other. So yeah, I am nitpicking a bit here. And occasionally when the camera pans round, you can see popping up on the side of the screen. This is simply down to the viewpoint and how they optimise games. I wouldn't hold it against the developers, but it would be nice if they prepared for it in future for people playing it in 3D. Obviously. Now even at these medium settings, I'm struggling to run the game at 30 frames a second. This makes it a lot more difficult to aim, and this is one of those sort of games where you really need accuracy. Ammo is scarce, and you often have to kill people quickly before they raise the alarm. I'm still not against the 3D in this game though. However, it will be nice in a couple of years' time when you have a super fast PC to replay this game and for it to be a nice, silky smooth 60 frames a second on highest everything. I'm sure it is possible to do right now, you just have to be super rich. For a scene like this, where most of it is far away, you're looking through your monitor at it. One of the cool things to do with a 3D monitor is to walk into the room with glasses on. Even out of the corner of your eye, you know there's something not quite right about the monitor. It's almost like a window to another world. However, when you're playing the game, the effect to be pronounced, things need to be quite close to your character. I'll show you some examples of that later on. This benchmark's almost over, so I'll just let it finish. I like the destruction on the concrete, even though my advanced physics stuff is disabled for this game. It's nice to see that the fog works properly in 3D. Most games get it wrong. I guess that since Nvidia worked with them on this one, it should be right. It extends to the loading screens as well. I know it's a small point, but it's a nice one. It's time for us to move on to some 3D gameplay of Metro Last Light. Now actually, the very beginning of the game's good for this. Everything's very close to you, it's all nicely detailed, and you have lots of windows to look through, which always looks cool with a 3D monitor. Okay, I'm not used to games where you have a shadow but no body. It's clear that a lot of thought has gone into this game. Every place you go seems to be alive with lots of small details, but nowhere I've seen showcases it better than this one. It's almost homely even though it's a horrible dump. I don't know why Russians can only make depressing games, but they seem pretty good at it. Okay, so some of these examples come from Eastern Europe as opposed to Russia, but they're about Russians. Think of Operation Flashpoint, Armed Assault, Stalker, Metro, and that weird one set on that icebreaker ship. That had really nice graphics as well. Jesus! Cryostasis, that's what it's called. Why, such a noob. Anyway, this is set slightly later on when you're about to go outside. You're following this elite sniper woman who seems to like rabbits. What's really obvious in 3D mode is just how 3D everything is. You're not just going up a tunnel, there's weeds everywhere, and all those roots you see around the side, they're actually slightly out from the wall. In a minute you press yourself right up against her, which is obviously just to showcase the 3D.
Give me a hand here.
Go away, stupid fog.
Let's go to the main entrance. There's a good shooting position there. I can cover a lot of territory.
I think that this moment has as much impact as anything in Crysis 3. Sorry to keep comparing the two, but they've got to be compared. One of my major gripes with this sort of game is how linear it is. What's the point in a beautiful place if it plays exactly the same as in the sewers? And why is there fecal matter all over the lens? Why is there even more fecal matter on the lens?
and come from hiding. Just try to stay in the open.
Okay, let's just skip to some combat.
Maintain radio contact.
I have nothing else to say about this game, so I'll let you enjoy this battle and then I'll show the benchmark again. Thank you for watching.
And all who inhabit the metro. But I say, we are the ones who will define humanity.